Let's go. Let's go. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm muted. I'm muted. Am I muted? Hold on. All right. I'm not muted anymore. I'm here. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All our morning meetup family. If you're brand new to the morning meetup, just put I'm new. Throw it. I just got to see it real quick. Just put I'm new, brand new. This is your first week. If you're enjoying the dollar trial and you're like, yo, I'm going to pass this dollar trial. It's all the way up. I'm here. I'm going to be in this community for a minute. Just put I'm here. I'm here. You just plant your flag. I need this community. This is good. Welcome. Look at all our first week members, man. Congratulations. Welcome. All right, cool. So I was going to do one thing, but now I'm going to do something else. Because this month we're talking about wealthy conversations. And I want us to get on the path of creating wealth. Like truly creating wealth. But I was looking through my life and I all thanks to God, I've been able to begin the process of building wealth. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's levels of wealth. I've made some good decisions in my life. Well, maybe not my whole life. Last few years, I made some good decisions. And I was analyzing, how do we get to this place of wealth? Because I remember working at the Cheesecake Factory as a server, working, let me mute this person. Okay. I remember working at the Cheesecake Factory, and get your paper and pen out because you guys are going to do some work today. Okay. I'm not the only person doing work today, but I remember working at the Cheesecake Factory where I just could not get over $1,000 in terms of seeing $1,000 where I have it in the middle of the month. I had it in the beginning of the month, but then I had to pay rent, and then I don't have it anymore. And I always had just enough. I remember. Let me tell you the thing that changed my life. There's a couple of life changing moments. I can still see in the back seat that that jug of water that I have to grab before I got in my car. And I just keep it on the floor behind the passenger seat in the car. When I leave the house, there's a checklist of things that you need, right? You got to get your wallet, you got to get your keys, and that jug of water. Because my car is going to overheat. Imagine driving, and you have to keep watching, not the speedometer, not how much gas you have, even though I had to keep checking how much gas I have, but the temperature thing. If it got too high, I had to stop, pull over. I had to have a little t-shirt because you can't just touch the thing hot. You got to use a t-shirt, take off the little radiator vent, pour some water in there. It was no sense in getting antifreeze because the antifreeze would leak out and I'd have to buy that stuff all the time. So I just kept jugs of water in my car. But one of the most life-changing situations was I told this story before, probably on a morning meetup, so I'll give you the abridged version, where I pull up because I needed some gas, and as a server, you make cash every day, but I think I was off the last 2 days, but I pulled up to the gas station, and I was about to get $10 worth of gas, but I was hungry, and I couldn't, if I got $10 worth of gas, I couldn't eat, but I had to go to work the next day, so I needed gas. So what I had to do was I put $5 in my gas tank. I took the other $5, and this is when I used to eat McDonald's before all the documentaries. I would love a fillet of fish. You know what I mean? Until when we realized that McDonald's food wasn't real food. You know what I mean? I used to eat it. It was a dope little. You know what I mean? Especially if there wasn't no Wendy's around. Because you get the nuggets, you go crazy on that dollar menu. So moral of the story, I had to put $5 in my tank, and I took the other $5 to eat because I knew the next day I was going to go to work and I would have some money. It was a moment of disgust for me. And at that point, that's when I told myself I would never, ever put $5 in my gas tank ever again. Since that moment, I never put $5 in my gas tank. Catch this. I may have put 7 in. I remember one time I had to put 7. I mean, I wanted to put 5. I wanted to put more, but I didn't have that much. But I said I'm not putting 5. 7, put $7 in my tank, and then $10, then 20, and then it was like years later where every time I go to the gas station, I fill up. This is it. Like, y'all don't know. It seems little, it seems small, but to be able to go to the gas station, put the thing on the little clip and walk away. Oh man, I remember seeing somebody do that before. I was in a car. They went to the gas station, put the gas in there, put the little clicker thing on, then got back in the car. And I'm like, bruh, you're not watching the joint. Like, yo, you about to hit 20, fam. You ain't trying to, you know how you get to like 19 and you gotta click, 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 get to 20. But he just got in the car, got on his phone, and I'm like, yo, you just gonna fill up like that? It was weird to me. I didn't know. But anywho, there's a few things that we got to check. And I'm not just going to go into mindset stuff, because even though I could stay there, and that's probably what's most valuable, but y'all probably want some practical steps and some things you need to do. But you guys are going to do some homework right now. There's a couple of checklist things, and I do want to get in like the community. I was just going to do community day, but it was something on my heart that I had to share today. So I'm going to probably try to wrap up early if I can, and then maybe like, Brad, we can do some breakout rooms or something like that. Okay, yeah. Cool? All right, good. All right, let's get into it. All right, so there's a couple things we got to check. Actually, Rachel talked about it in the book today, even though there's a couple things in that chapter I didn't really agree with. I didn't really agree with the choice. But this part, she talked about environment, which is where I'm going to start the conversation. We have to, if we're going to build wealth, it has a lot to do with our environment. So what I like you to do right now is we have to go through the text. Rachel she talked about the annual evaluation of your friends. I thought that was really, really dope. But right now, I like you to evaluate your environment. We're going to start right now. Grab your phone. You might be on your phone on this Zoom, but grab your phone. And I want you to just scroll through your call log real quick, and evaluate every contact that's on your call log. You can take it a little bit further where you go through the call log, and then you click the little button on the right, or it might show it on this, I don't know what type of phone you have, but how long you stayed on that conversation. We just got to evaluate. We just have to evaluate. How long were we on that call? How productive was it? Do me a favor. We're going to go through our text messages and just scroll through our text messages over the last few days. What we got? Question for you. How many millionaires are on your text message list or on your text message thread? How many wealthy individuals are on your text message thread? We can start right there. In terms of building wealth, here's the thing. I don't want you to be discouraged because you're not wealthy today. It's okay. But this is a good place to start. Would you agree? The question is, how do we get around it? How do we get more wealthy people on our phone? Text messages, phone calls. How do we make that happen? That could be a really, really good place to start, in my opinion. We just got to evaluate. I don't know why. Hold on 1 second. Let's stop that. Okay. Can you spotlight me? Am I spotlighted yet, Bren?
No, but I can.
Okay, spotlight me, please. Thank you. All right, cool. So yes, we just got it. We're gonna evaluate the text message. Anybody, just throw it in the chat real quick. Throw it in the chat. What have you found out about your phone? What have you found out about your phone? Throw it in the chat real quick. Throw it in the chat. We're going to take it to another level, okay? We're going to go to another level. Go to whatever social media platform. I waste too much time. Good. This is good stuff. I don't use it much. I need to have more millionaires in my inbox that I don't respond to messages. I am in the same boat. That I love my phone calls. Sheesh. I need to talk to more people. Woo. Good. Ephraim says I'm using it very efficiently. Okay, good stuff. Now, Open up whatever social media platform you use most often and scroll through it. Just tell me what environment you find yourself in. So the one thing, maybe we don't have a whole bunch of millionaires in our phone. That's cool, right? But when we open our phone and we start to scroll, maybe, just maybe, the problem is there. When we're on social media, and we probably spend a good bit of time in social media, look at all this stuff that we're feeding ourselves. They call it a social media feed. It's an Instagram feed, Facebook feed. Why do they call it a feed? I'll let you guys answer in the chat. Why do they call it a feed? That's what you're feasting on every day. Think about it. That's what you're feasting on every single day. There are some people that I met in real life that are really, really cool, but I can't feed myself what they're showing as a married man. I had to unfollow you. It's crazy, ain't it? I don't want to feed myself that. I can't. And nothing wrong with it. Listen, if you are proud of your body and you're proud of like what you got, you should be. Keep doing what you're doing, sis. I ain't mad at you, boo-boo. It's just I can't see that. Because my fear is the more I see it, the more I'll desire it. And I'm maturing as a man. I don't even need to put myself in a situation. I know I'm not going to do anything, but I don't even want the desire. It's just me. Like I went through this exercise. I started scrolling. I was like, oh, that's why I'm in the situation I'm in. And maybe it's not true. Maybe that's not the reason I was broke. But I did find myself being entertained way too much. I put myself in an environment of entertainment way too much. Okay. All right. So just a quick environment check. Okay. You guys did the work. Yes. You did do the work. Now there are going to be some people that are going to unfollow you, that you're going to have to unfollow. Just put it in the chat. I'm unfollowing people today. If you are unfollowing. Now you might have, all motivation, all inspirations. Cool. I ain't mad at you. How many people are going to unfollow some people today? Good. I love it. He said my IG is lit. Good stuff. All right, number two. We're gonna do some work today. Spending habits. How do we expect to be wealthy if our spending habits were off? Okay. Now we're still on our phone. I need you to go to your online banking app. And it's time to evaluate now. I want you to see your spending habits. Where's all the money going? Just open that. So don't make me do it, Dave. I love it. This is a challenge. We're gonna do some work this morning, okay? So open your banking app and just scroll through and evaluate every transaction. Just evaluate it. Where's the money going? I did an interview on the Social Proof Podcast. So if you're not following the Social Proof Podcast, please follow the Social Proof Podcast. That would be awesome. I did a podcast interview with George Acheampong. And he said the number one killer of entrepreneurs is food. What do you mean, George? The number one killer of financial success is food. I don't understand, George. He said, I want you to go home after this interview and I want you to go check your bank statements and tell me how much money you spent in food last month. It was a game changer for me. Goodness gracious. I see where the money's going. I see it. I see where the money's going. But some of us, we think that if we made more money, we'd be in a better situation. But really, the answer is in your bank statement. Because it's not that we need more money. It's that we need to stop spending as much. We need to stop wasting as much. We need to stop celebrating as much. Do y'all know that a lot of people, when we get a paycheck, we celebrate payday? So we take some of the money because we today have some abundance, and we spend because we have it, because we see the number, we have it, we spend it. And then week after week, we find ourselves in a situation halfway through the week where we just don't have enough money. So go through it. Anybody find anything? You find anything on your bank statements? You find anything? Uber Eats and Instacart. Okay, what did you find? You scrolling? You could look at it like, man, I ain't have to buy that. I ain't have to buy that. Okay, so in this bank statement, what we might find are overdraft fees. Yikes. We're throwing the money away. We didn't even spend it. We didn't spend it. But because we probably spent money on something we shouldn't have spent, that means the thing that we spent money on cost us $35 more. Would you go out to eat and spend $20 if that $20 meal was going to cost you $55? You say, of course not. Why would I spend $55 on a $20 meal? Well, that's what you're doing because you didn't need to go out eating anyway, and your overdraft $35, meaning that $20 meal costs you $55, and you do it on a regular basis. Going back to my not putting $5 in my gas tank situation, one of my first goals in my wealth building, it wasn't to make six figures. My first goal was to never spend $5 on my gas tank again. My second goal was no more overdraft fees. And I started this run. Okay, this month I didn't do what. It was just a sensitive thing for me. I'm checking my account on a regular basis to make sure that everything came out before I spent it. And I had to start tracking because my goal was to not have an overdraft fee. I just got to cut out these overdraft fees. If I can do that, I will be walking towards wealth. Financial maturity. Okay, what do we find? In our bank statement, ATM fees will take you out if you're not careful. Facts. What do we find in our bank statement? Come on, let's be honest. Luckily, I'm vegetarian and don't like eating out. I mean, okay, food, courses, okay, subscriptions, Amazon, Uber Eats, too much eating out. Okay, all right, let's keep moving. Okay. Before we move on, notice outside of the transactions, notice the balance. Take 5 seconds real quick and ask yourself, why is that balance the balance? Why is that balance? Why is my bank balance that bank balance? Just ask yourself a question. Just take a couple minutes. Why is that bank balance the bank balance? I'll be transparent. I'm finding myself over investing. I'm like over investing. I'm doing this. I'm doing a couple of real estate deals with Terica, my sister, and it's dope. We'll get the money back. But like first, I was like, yo, let's just buy this stuff. Let's buy it. And she just, I can't keep up with her. First off, she went to Daytona. We were supposed to buy 3 properties. She's like, oh, we're just gonna get 8. And I'm like, oh, we gonna get 8? She's like, yeah, we're just gonna half on it. And I was like, oh yeah, let's do it. And then I was like, dang, I still need money for like marketing. I still need money for like other projects that I want to do. And I'm not in the danger of not having it, but I need to slow down. Even though it probably come out. My point is, and I might be doing it right? I might over investing right now for a larger return. It's cool. But I just want you to just have a couple minutes and say, why is my balance that balance? Just ask yourself. First off, Terica gonna get y'all right next week. I will tell you the truth. All right. Okay. All right. Number three. Do we have a goal Do we have a financial goal? What is our goal? First off, is our goal to be wealthy? It might not be. And if it's not, that's okay. So your goal might be to be happy. And that's cool. It's just for this sake of conversation. Some of your goal might be to be in God's graces, right? Some of your goal might be the best father you can be, the best husband or wife you can be. That might be your goal, and that's cool. But I'm just talking about wealth right now. Is that cool? Do we have a goal to be wealthy? Do we have a goal to be wealthy? But if not, just set a goal real quick. Let's just start with 3, 6, and 12 months. How about that? 3, 6, 12 months. In the next 3 months, how much do we want our bank balance to be? The one we just talked about, the balance. In 3 months, what do we want that balance to be? Now, we can go into like a whole bunch of things. How much revenue do you want to make and all that kind of stuff? But for the sake of this conversation, how much do you want the balance to be in 3 months? You don't have to put it in the chat unless you want to. It's up to you. But what do you want that balance to be in 3 months? And some of you, if you're like me, you have multiple companies and, there's like accumulation. But I have a goal for this account. In 3 months, it should be here. This account, here. Okay, I don't have a whole lot of time to get into it because there's a lot of factors at play, but just broad overview. 3 months, I need it to be here. 6 months, I want my account to be here. 12 months, my account should be here. Now, I am not a big proponent. When you advocate for something, is the word proponent or component? Proponent. Okay. I'm not a big proponent for just saving and letting cash accumulate because I want to put the money to work. And the only reason I do like save money is I don't even call it money. I call it capital because I want to be ready for an investment. So when Terica calls me and says, yo, those Daytona beachfront properties, we about to get 8 of them. I've saved to be ready for that. So there's a lot into it. I'm just being like real broad. Y'all cool with that? Real broad, and you'll get the idea. Okay, there's a bunch of different strategies and all that kind of stuff. However, for me, what I needed at the point in my life where I couldn't really think about like investing. I just wanted to have $1,000. I needed my zero to be 1,000. Throw it in the chat real quick. Raise your zero. Throw it in the chat real quick. Raise your zero. Raise your zero. Raise your zero. There was a point in my life where my zero was zero. And when I had $0, I had $0. That's what I call broke. $0. My objective was to raise my zero to where $1,000 made me nervous. Where the account is at 1,000. And when I'm at 1,000, that's my zero. In my mind, I don't have any money. So someone could ask me to borrow money. And if I only have $1,000 in my account, I would say something like, yo, I don't have any money. Because in my head, 1,000 isn't any money. It's zero. Before, if I had $1,000 and someone asked to borrow money, I'd have to calculate based off the 1,000. Okay, you need to borrow $50. All right, I got 1,000. I got you. Just hit me back. But if you have zero, how do you give someone something if you have zero? And 1,000 is my zero. So some of you need to raise your zero. I'm talking to Jovan. He was like, yo, 5,000, zero. I don't ever want my account to dip under 5,000 because that's zero. If I have $5,000 and I'm about to go on a trip, or people ask me to go on a trip and I have 5,000, if all I have is 5,000, I can't go. The old me would say, if I have 5,000, oh, we outside. But once you start raising your zero, things change. Things change. Right now, I am at zero. I ain't really eat out at all this week because I'm at zero. I ain't got it. Me and my wife together, like she been cooking every day. Like, yo, let's just cook. Cause we at zero. We ain't got it. My zero's changing. Dottie was like, yo, let's go on a trip in the next 30 days to go to Cabo. I'm like, dang, I can't go right now. I ain't got it. But now I have to hit some goals. I gotta pump some up. I gotta go crazy. I gotta go build something so I can get over zero so I can go on the trip. But this takes maturity. The problem is your zero is zero. So 3 months, what is going to be your zero? 6 months, what is going to be your zero? 12 months, what is your zero? We're having a wealthy conversation, right? We're staying in tune with the theme of the month. Yes? Okay. All right, cool. All right. Number 4, investments. So we got to talk about environment, spending habits, goals, and investments. Do me a favor. Just think for a second. How many assets do you have in your life other than your hands? Hands in terms of whatever I do or whatever money I make comes from the work of my hands. I have to go out and produce it. So even if you might be a coach or a consultant, well, you're saying I don't use my hands, but it's still, you have to go do it, which means you're working with your hands. So every time you perform, you make money. If you don't perform, what happens? You don't make money. So every time I book a call and I do a consultation, I make money. That's why I haven't really been like doing much like public speaking, because in my head, I gotta fly out to your city, go perform, come back, and make some money. Well, that's fine, but that's not my goal. My goal is to not have to perform to make every dollar. That's why we have to have assets in our life. Okay, so do me a favor. Do you have anything in your life that produces money without you having to perform? Okay, put it in the chat. What do you have that produces income without you having to perform? An ebook. This is an asset. That's good. Not yet. I love it. I love stocks, crypto. Absolutely. I love the answer of nope, not yet. Nope, not yet. I don't. And if we do have an asset, how do we get more? Do you have anything that produces money without your consistent? Do you have anything that produces money without your consistent attention? Okay. Do me a favor. List 3 things that you can do to create income without having to give it your consistent attention. Throw 3 in there. It's so cool. I posted in my stories, and here's what's crazy. I don't have to give, so with Terica, she helped me find these 3, well, it's 2 properties, but it's 3 doors. 2 properties, but 3 doors, meaning 3 renters. Right now, one of my units is vacant. But every month, she sends me an email of how much I produced, how much rent they collected, and I gotta pay my rent. I gotta pay my mortgage, and then their 10% management fee. I've never seen the property outside of pictures. I've never walked in the property, but she was showing me, yo, you get a management company to manage the property. Any repairs, they do it, and they take a percentage. I'm like, cool. I think it's like $1,000 of profit. Well, no, not profit. I think it's like $600 right now without the last tenant of profit, and I don't have to do anything at all. I don't even have to promote it. So we might have let's say we have an ebook, right? We got to promote it. Unless, You have someone running ads to the ebook and it just produces income and you just pay it out. Just think through. I'm just asking you to think through your asset strategy. What if you can't perform? So I'm big on podcasting because I get to do something one time and the video and podcast or whatever, it continues to pay me. So I love podcasting. And I love to do it. So, which it's not necessarily the podcast itself is the asset because I still have to perform. But once I produce the video goes and performs. So I only have to do it one time. Okay. What would be even better is if I built the podcast with somebody else that is the podcast host and I'm just giving strategy and they go build it. And once it's built, just send me my check. Or you invest in a company because they need some money or some income. They take the money, they go build, and they send you your check. Just start thinking through some stuff like that. Just start thinking. Number five, and this is it. Dang, I was trying to wrap up early, but I'm not. Your strategy. There's a couple of things we have to pay attention to. If you're just now joining the morning meetup, I hope you're enjoying yourself. We're going to open it up just so we can commune and talk. But one thing we got to consider is our environments. The first thing we got to check in terms of building wealth, our environment. Number 2, our spending habits. Let's pay some attention to it. We did the homework today where we just go through the account and have a realization. There's some things we're going to have to cut off. Don't cut off the morning meetup though, because we need you. Okay. That's a good environment, right? Anyway, so I helped you with, this helped you with the first one, the environment, okay? Anyway, 1, environment, 2, your spending habits. But yes, you're going to have to check some stuff off. So you might actually be in a position where you find that you have a subscription to Netflix, HBO Plus, and Stars, which shows up in other areas. We're just irresponsible with our spending, which means we're putting ourselves in an environment to be entertained, which means we're probably not taking that money and investing it anywhere, which means we probably don't have a goal. Which means, number 5, our strategy is off. The check in this, checking this stuff, truly helps the rest of the stuff. So 1 was environment, 2, our spending habits. Number 3, making sure we have a goal, and our goal should be to raise our zero. It should be constantly raising our zero. You should get nervous when your account says 100,000. You should really freak out when that joint says 20,000. There are people, their zero is their last couple million. It's not like 3 million. It's like, yo, I'm down to my last few million. Something has to change. I got to kick some things into gear because I only got 3 million. You believe that? Do you believe that some people are living like that? Where 10 million, they get nervous because 10 million is zero? Do you know people live like that? Okay. Look, Marlon will have 50 cars, and in 1 month, 5 of them are off the road. And he's like, oh no, my business is crashing. I only have 45 cars left. Let me run this joint back up to 60. I'm nervous. Can you imagine? Nervous. Okay. All right. Number 5 is strategy. Tell me your plan of attack. Tell me your plan of action. Oh, go back. Environment 1, 2, your spending habits. 3, your goal. Number 4, we've got to start to at least start thinking investment. How are we going to create assets in our life other than our hands? Some of us, our only asset is our hands. And I just want you to think through. This is an asset. This is something that's going to produce me money without me having to perform. This year, I'm going to get one. And then number 5 is your strategy. What is your plan? I talk about it a lot because I love this analogy. But if you are going to go rob a bank, you don't go in there waving a gun. You sit down and come up with a plan. You have to analyze what's happening. How many cameras are in the bank? You have to come up with a strategy or a plan. We've all seen the dating movies, right? Where the person doesn't walk up and say, hey, give me your number. Or you don't go up to the coworker that you've been eyeing for the last 6 months and say, hey, let's go out. It's like a strategy. Okay, cool. She's going to be by the water cooler. I'm going to bump. No, I didn't mean to bump you. My bad. Oh, you smell good. What you wearing? The strategy was, let's have a conversation. How can I have a conversation with this person that I want to talk to? Y'all plan it out all the time. You want to go to the club? And in your mind, you're thinking about all the factors. Who do I know at the door? What am I going to wear? Who am I going to go with? I don't know if y'all do it. I don't know if y'all do it intentionally or if there's like a plan to get people to buy you drinks. Do y'all do that? Does anybody do that or no? That's a figment of my imagination. In my head, I'll be thinking, yo, they have a plan to go to the club and drink but not have to pay for it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've been set up before. Like, I've been at the bar and like they bump me into like, hey, oh, my bad. Oh, what's up? You good? Okay, my bad. And that's like that's their plan. Oh man, something else. Anywho, we have to have a plan for our wealth, right? This should be something well thought out, a well thought out strategy. What is your plan? Other than manifestation. Me and my sister go back and forth about the manifestation thing. It's just, I would prefer to spend time on the plan and then manifest the plan working out. Do the work for the plan to work out. So, or the manifestation is, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to create a plan for the thing that I want, and then I'm just going to manifest all these things lining up. But we have to have the things to line up, the strategy, the plan. So this is what I'm asking you to do, and if you will do it, just put it in the chat. I need 30 minutes of concentrated strategy. No distraction. If you will commit to 30 minutes today of concentrated strategy, a plan, you're having a meeting with your goals. You're having a meeting with your millions. If you are dedicated to 30 minutes, put 30 in the chat. Throw 30 in the chat real quick. Throw 30 in the chat. If today, your plan, listen, I'm going to map it out. I'm giving the baby to my spouse. As soon as the baby goes to sleep, I'm taking some time. My lunch break today is not me scrolling through Instagram and eating at the same time. 30 minutes. I just need 30 with the board, the whiteboard. Strategy. Just plan it. You are brilliant. And here's what's cool about this part. Y'all know we do Q&A every Thursday. If you spend more time on the plan and strategy, it improves the quality of your questions. Because you have a plan, you have a strategy, but there's this one part I cannot figure out. Hey, Dave, how do I figure this thing out? Because if I can figure this thing out, the plan opens up. But because we don't have the strategy and the plan, we're asking questions that we think are going to help us. Keeping it real, a lot of when I see people in the streets and maybe they only have a few minutes to talk, or like I'm moving or I'm in an airport and people see me or something like that, most of the time, the question that they're asking me to answer will not help them, no matter how I answer the question. Because the questions aren't specific enough to help them. Yo, Dave, how do I grow my social media following? That's not even the question that you really want to ask. If you had a strategy already and you said, yo, this is my strategy on growing my social media following, but for some reason, I can't get people to respond to my DM based on my strategy of growth. Or I can't get people to comment in the chat or I can't create engagement here. Then I can give you specific instructions on that, because if that happens, it'll probably open up your plan. But because there's no strategy or plan, we only have goals, you ask the wrong questions. So I just need 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Throw it in the chat real quick one more time. If we're going to commit 30, just throw a 30 in the chat. If today, 30 minutes. I'm going to do it today. I'm going to take 30 minutes on my own strategy. And hopefully this becomes a habit for you. Hey guys, listen, if you're brand new, tell somebody about the morning meetup, themorningmeetup.com. Oh, last thing. And I am launching the Launch Your Podcast Challenge. Again, I'll go heavy with the promo shortly, but the Launch Your Podcast Challenge is January 31st. It starts January 31st. 5 days to help you launch your podcast. So you're going to spend 5 days with me and every day. And if you if you came to one of the challenges, I'm sure it'll help you. The groups are lit, but I'm introducing some other people into, like, I got a hosting platform, and they're gonna walk through the monetization behind how to grow your podcast financially. And I'm bringing in an expert, actually an account executive, an executive at a company of a major hosting platform. And they're going to show you how they get from the brand to the small podcaster. Oh, we switching it up. I'll switch up all 5 days. Well, 4 days, because we're still going to talk about monetization day 5. So launchyourpodcastchallenge.com. Go to launchyourpodcastchallenge.com. You can lock in right now. I highly recommend VIP, because we have like an extra hour every day, extra 45 minutes every single day, and for Q&A. But you're going to launch your podcast this year. So this call wasn't about promoting the Launch Your Podcast Challenge, but you should join the Launch Your Podcast Challenge. But hopefully these 5 things we spoke about will move you closer to wealth. You are going to be wealthy. And I want you to know that you are going to be wealthy, and feel that you're going to be wealthy, and expect that you're going to be wealthy. But you're going to have to do work. It just is what it is. On social media, we are just led to believe that we can do what the person on Instagram is showing us that they did to become successful. How to make your first $10,000 in 30 days. Well, it requires a special type of person to do that. Can you teach? Let's say, for instance, and I'm not, no knock, right? But, so for instance, okay, I'll use myself. I could say how to make $1 million in your first year as a podcaster. Just because I have a 7-figure annual podcast, it doesn't mean you're going to do that. Because who I became through this process is what allowed me to do that. It was the time I said I'm never going to put $5 in my gas tank. It was me raising my zero. It was me raising my zero, saying, oh, I got 1,000 subscribers. I don't got none. I got to run that joint up to 2,000. It's all the years of networking. It's all that they don't see me interviewing my waitress at the restaurants that I go to, where I'm practicing interviewing on my server. They don't see that. It's just misleading. You think you just have it. You just get it. I'm going to teach you strategies, but you got to do the work. I'll significantly cut your learning curve in growing your podcast, but there's still a lot that you got to do. Like, you still have to come up with your own plan and strategy. So that's why I don't like to mislead people. All right. I love you all. So Brent is going to jump back on here and explain what chapter we're reading tonight, so that we can come back on Monday and get it in. All right. I love y'all. Brent, the floor is yours, sister. Thank you so much for being amazing.
Thank you for